Thank you for joining us for the Rocky Mount Chamber Buzz. Today's guests are Brian Hucks, winner of Shark Tank competition with Springboard, and Jeff Tobias, who's on the board. Today our show is brought to you by Roger G. Taylor and Associates. We're very grateful for that. And before we start the interview, we want to show you a few of the wonderful things happening in our community.
Good morning. I'm David Combs, Mayor of the City of Rocky Mount. I'm out here on the day before Thanksgiving helping celebrate chair and equipment rentals on their ribbon cutting of their new facility here at 1530 North Westland Boulevard. I understand that Brian James, who's the owner here, this is his 28th anniversary, I believe, 20th anniversary today when he started the business. So it's kind of a celebration for him, 20 years in business, but also a celebration of opening his new store here out on Westland Boulevard. This company's been part of Rocky Mount for 59 years. It's transferred from different hands, different ownerships. There's no telling how much equipment they've rented over the years here in Rocky Mount, and how many lives they've touched in terms of weddings and events that they've been a part of in one way or another. So it's great to have a company like them in our community, that when you need something, you don't have to go out and purchase it all the time. You can rent it. A lot of things in life, that's the best way to do it. Rent it. When you get through, you can give it back. But we want to congratulate Brian on his success over the years that he's been here, but also the fact that this company has been a part of Rocky Mount for so long. So today we want to present this to Brian and on his ribbon cutting here at his new facility. And this is just says City of Rocky Mount presented a chair and equipment rental on the occasion of your ribbon cutting with best and sincere wishes. And if there's anything we can do to help you, please let me know. And certainly we wish you continued success.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. You want to say a few words, or Bill?
Yeah, Brian, I am one of those lives that you've touched when we rented the tent and all the equipment and everything for my daughter's wedding. And you and Cheryl and your staff were just, they were wonderful to work with, and everything we asked for, and you were right there on time and did everything. So it was a wonderful experience. On behalf of the Chamber of Commerce and the Board of Directors and the staff, we would like to congratulate you on your new location, and we hope and pray that you get many more years of successful business here. Do you want to say a few words?
I want to thank the Chamber and the City of Rocky Mount for coming out today, and thank my wife and my daughter for supporting me over these 20 years. I've missed a lot of nights and days at home. And to my manager, Cheryl Phillips, who has been here since I came on board and has managed the store for me and dealt with a lot of weddings and parties and events. We are a party rental company. We are a tool rental company, and we also have portable toilet rental company. We're one of the largest east of Raleigh, and we are one of the only ones east of the Mississippi that has a tent washer to get our tents clean and keep them prestige for the events going on. Appreciate the city and the chamber for supporting us through the years, and look forward to working with them throughout the many more years.
Thank you, Brian. And as always, we want to thank Herb and Sandra for being here and always covering these events for us, and all the chamber ambassadors for coming out. And we've got Julia here behind the scenes now instead of in front, so we're glad to have her back out as well. But we just want to, again, congratulate Brian and everyone here at his company, and got a great facility. It looks great in here. I think he said one of the things he wanted to do is separate his wedding and party things from his equipment, and he's been able to do it at this facility. So if you get a chance to come out and visit with Brian, they'll be glad to handle all your needs. So again, thank everybody for coming out. And
we're joined by Brian and Jeff. Welcome, y'all.
Thank you.
And we're here to celebrate you, Brian. I understand you were the big winner in the business division for Shark Tank.
Well, yeah, we were. We're very excited. It was a great thing. up against a lot of competition, done pretty well.
What does that mean to you to have been the winner?
Well, it was a lot of encouragement, because we've been working on this thing for a while, and to finally get up in front of some people the caliber that we were, in front of a big group of people, and actually win, it's big encouragement, because it's been a long journey, but it's just a start.
And the fact that even the audience voted too. I mean, you
Yeah.
had the judges, you had the audience, excuse me, support. Jeff, as a member of the Springboard Board of Directors, kind of set the stage for leading up. It was November 16th. You had a good turnout, a great turnout.
Yeah, we did, Gene. The Shark Tank event was kind of a byproduct of what Springboard is trying to accomplish in general, which is to create events and create excitement around entrepreneurship. And that's really exactly what we felt happened with the Shark Tank event. The audience, we felt like, was excited about the various entrepreneurs who participated, but it also gave us a chance to identify people like Brian who are in our community, who are looking for kind of the helping hand to get their idea to the business stage, and then from business stage to kind of high growth. And so for both those reasons, because it helped energize and excite people in the community, and because it helped us find people like Brian, we thought it was a really successful event.
And how was Brian chosen to be able to be there that day as one of the finalists?
Well, we actually had 36 entrepreneurs who applied to be in it, and we had to boil it down to 3. So we had a board who did blind voting, and they issued their top 5, and the top vote getter got 5 points and 4 for the second, and so on and so forth. So we tallied all those up, and Brian was one of the 3 finalists.
Brian, I read your application, and I have to say you put a whole lot of work into that. Did you have to go out and learn a lot of stuff, and of course writing down all the support people you had, the business plan and whatnot? I would think that exercise in itself really helped you as a company.
Oh, it did, and I had a lot of help from the Small Business Center at Halifax Community College. Thank God for them, because without them we wouldn't be where we are. But it's been a very big deal to learn all these things. I had no idea how hard it would be or how far we would have to come, but you know how you eat an elephant, one bite at a time.
Well, I didn't, but now I do. Right?
That's right. I'll try that sometime.
But you had not ever had a business before, right?
No, ma'am. I come from an EMS background. I did EMS my whole life, and I just had this idea one day and decided to draw it down, and I found a good friend of mine that did fabrication, and we built one, and it worked. And from there, it was just like I could see the potential, and everyone that's seen Tailgate Buddy from that point forward has seen the potential in it. So it's always, every step has been a positive one, and it's always encouraging. So at some point, you get to where you're not really sure what to do next, but it always becomes evidence. So we just keep moving forward, and that's what we're going to do, keep moving forward.
And people who don't do their due diligence, like look at where's the money coming from, what's my long-term goal and whatnot, they're the businesses that don't make it. So
Right.
This has forced you to do even more of
yeah.
the prep work. When I Tailgate Buddy, I think we need to stop right now and talk about that.
Yeah.
Describe it, tell us what it does.
Well, Tailgate Buddy is the answer to all of your tailgating needs.
All right.
There you go.
Good.
And our target audience is, football, NASCAR, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. But that's the big picture. The people that like to get out and tailgate at the football games and NASCAR events, that's our appeal is to them.
Mm-hmm.
And what we do is basically use the rear end of your truck to make a picnic table and seats, umbrellas, and then from there you get the base unit of Tailgate Buddy. You can add on. We've got fishing rod holders for surf fishing, cargo racks so that you can haul your stuff up and down the road, and a lot of other things coming. But basically you buy the first piece, which is the base unit, and from there for the next 5 or 6 years we're going to be putting something out new about every 6 months that'll build onto the initial package.
And it's a lifetime guarantee too.
Yes,
I mean,
ma'am.
you really do stand behind your product.
Absolutely, because we're using American-made steel, bought locally, and then we're using American craftsmen to put it together. It's an all-well construction. It's not something bolted together. It's not going to fall apart. It's going to outlive me, you, and everybody else in here. And then we powder coat it too with an industrial powder coating, which is done in the state too. So it's a top quality product, and we stand behind it 100%.
And when you go to places like the Harley Davidson dealerships and whatnot, what's been the reaction?
Oh, just a lot of excitement. Everybody, man, I can't believe that's so simple. I should have thought of that. Yeah, there's a lot of that happens. But the thing is, you got to have a vision and you've got to follow through with it. And this was the first time I've ever had anything to pop up on me like this. So I grabbed it by the horns and wanted to ride it all the way. So.
Jeff, this is the perfect example of what Springboard wanted to encourage, isn't it?
It really is. There are people like Brian, kind of that there are neighbors who in Nash, Edgecombe, Halifax County, and you don't know that they're doing wonderful things like they're doing. And so what we really try to do is encourage people like Brian to participate in the entrepreneurial process, encourage them to participate in that, as you mentioned, that kind of that thought process of you've got an idea now let's put it on paper, let's get it ready to present to people who've been there, done that. And so for both reasons, to encourage them to take the next step, and then to encourage them to really think a little more thoroughly through what it takes to get the business started. So you're right on. Yeah.
You didn't get a patent right up front on this either, did you?
Do what?
The patent to tie it down as your invention?
We actually did. We went through our first year when we filed our LLC. We did what they call provisional patent, which was basically us doing it in-house, drawing the drawings, writing it down, the wordage and all that needed to be submitted. So after that, we went through a whole year, and right at the last minute, we found that we were going to go ahead and pursue it, so we needed to file the utility patent, which is a little bigger deal, it's a little more intimidating. So we were blessed to have found a patent attorney up in the Durham area and had it submitted on time. So we've been protected for well over 2 years through the patent office, and that was a pretty big deal.
Well, and that's extremely important because as people, when you were out and about and people were seeing it, they would think, wow, I'll jump in and make one of those and get it tied down before he does.
Absolutely, and we were very careful with that. We had a lot of good leadership in that area. We made sure that before we released anything to the papers or showed it publicly or anything like that, we had all of it nailed down. So it's protected, and no doubt in my mind about that.
Well, when we come back, we're going to tell people where they can go online and order one, where they can see it. I enjoyed, in fact, showed it to my husband. I had it up on my computer.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Well, thank you.
We're going to take a break, though, and we'll be right back.
Ready? My name is Brian Hucks. I'm an inventor and also CEO of Tailgate Buddy. Got any tailgaters in the audience tonight? Figured they're everywhere. A few things about it. We're an all-American made company. We're trying to buy all-American steel. We're using powder coating and American craftsmen to build our product. My partner here, he's Mark Stewart. And I guess we'll go through it. The only thing I can say is for Tailgate Buddy, you can have a million pictures of it, never could tell what it does. So what I'm going to do now is go through the process of changing it into what it does, because right now it just looks like a cargo rack. You guys see these things all the time. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mark. He's going to go through the PowerPoint, and I'm going to transform this thing.
Okay, you're all asking, what is crossbar technology? This thing is heavy duty. Listen, that's heavy. Now imagine going down the highway, you see one of these things hooked on the back of a truck, and you see it pitching like this, or dysfunctioned. Tailgate Buddy is designed to be a very strong unit with this crossbar technology, which is the basis of the Tailgate Buddy. Now I'm just going to kind of zip through this for the sake of time.
Insert bar.
Insert bar is also a heavy piece of steel as well. While the cargo rack is based off this crossbar technology, and it uses a bar to insert into the system which allows you to adapt it to a variety of uses. So that would be the basis. As you look here, we have the cargo rack. When we first came out, you saw the cargo rack. That cargo rack could hold, imagine, I'm 100 and, okay, I'm gonna tell my weight. I'm 120 pounds. No, I'm not. I'm 240-pound man. Brian's about the same weight. And we have another partner as well who's about the same weight. We're all standing in this rack. As you can see here, we're all standing in it.
Well, guys, this is our tailgating package. And what I'm going to do now is go fishing. So he's going to keep going while we go fishing.
So while he's going fishing, the tailgate system also has the ability to adapt, which he's going to demonstrate in a bit, different accessories onto the unit so that you're able to enjoy your tailgating experience. Now, I'm a biker. I have a tailgate system that I use, and I travel back and forth to Erie. I grew up 28 miles outside of Canada. So with this system, I load it up with all my gear. I throw my bike on the end of it, and I carry my tailgate systems, and I'm off to Erie, PA with it. And what's really nice is because I can hook racks onto it, I can carry bikes on top, and I can carry bikes in the back, so I carry about 6 bikes on there. And as you look here, the swivel, it's strong. Have a seat, Brian. There. It's pretty strong.
The truck's back here. You can't see the tailgate, but one of the beautiful things about Tailgate Buddy is when you are fishing, you got the sun off your head. If you want to cut bait, you just spin around, and you got a tailgate. Use it for a picnic table.
Now, I'm not a fisherman. I don't like cutting gross things. But what I do like doing is when I go to games, I want a seat. If you look here in one of the pictures, we have a system that is called the Tailgate Mini. It's a mini version of this that's designed to hook off the back of a car.
Yeah, you know we have a 2-inch hitch is what this is basically set up for. Everybody knows they've got to a 1 1/4-inch hitch. So what we did is we take from the point where the basket fastens to the vehicle, we just change it to a different size. So basically any application that we buy from us, if it'll work on this, it'll work on the 1 1/4-inch, it'll work on the 2 1/2-inch, whatever we got. But one of the biggest goals I wanted to point out was from day one, we produced the first Tailgate Buddy that every accessory all the way through the history of our business will work off of the first one. So later on down the road, somebody wants to buy you something for Christmas, they can buy our grill as it comes out.
Now, what I want to talk to you about is the pipeline. Because why just produce a product? You produce it once, you sell it, and you can't grow with it. Tailgate Buddy is designed to grow.
Absolutely.
And with that, think about your barbecues, your fishing rod holders, your travel cargo storage unit. Now, imagine that basket with big gigantic balloon wheels under it hauling your gear as you're going on the beach, or you're going in the woods camping, or you have a 4-wheeler and you need to attach to it. It'll be able to do that.
We're also going to do load extenders, deer hoist, all kinds of things, just to start. And that's what this is. This is the beginning. This is our launch into the market, and hopefully you guys will buy lots of them, and we'll be able to sell you lots of accessories as we develop them, because I believe it's got a lot of potential.
Now, let's look at that keyword, quality American steel. Now, to have quality American steel, we want quality American workers. So we're looking to hire American workers to create jobs.
Gentlemen, 30-second warning.
So to create jobs, we also want 100% money-back guarantee with the product. And this is just closer pictures of the Tailgate Buddy. And notice there's a different set of seats. We also do custom seats.
Yeah, it's just boat seats, so you can buy, we don't sell seats, you can get them through us, but you can buy a seat at Walmart or anywhere else, and it'll work on our product.
And that's a tilted fishing carrier as well. That's a side profile of the grill. And that's with an umbrella open, of course.
Yeah, like us on Facebook.
Okay. Thank you.
And that's Tailgate Buddy.
We're back with Brian Hucks and Jeff Tobias. We also do want to thank Roger Taylor, Roger G. Taylor Associates, for making this show possible. If you see him around town, tell him thank you. Of great job in your presentation.
Thank you.
The paperwork that you had to put together again and you've got a lot of very smart people behind you. Jeff, that's probably something you look at is whether he's done due diligence, as you call it, I guess. And
Well, the three main criteria is, as far from the judging perspective, it was the feasibility of it, was it scalable, and then obviously the presentation. He did a great job on all three of those fronts. And as you mentioned, I commend all the participants for having the courage and the confidence to do that, because the judges, are some pretty talented, experienced entrepreneurs, and so to be able to articulate your idea in front of those people was a great thing. But as far as for us, the next step is to apply some other talented, successful entrepreneurs in an advisory capacity to help Brian kind of take the next step.
So you win that too. You win some advisors.
We do. We've actually got our first meeting coming up real soon. We'll be meeting with them, and very excited about that because the potential's just huge. So we think this will help us jump that 6 feet 29 Christmas, hopefully. Yeah.
And it's mostly a male audience for your product, right? I mean, when you look at the demographics of how many of athletic fans, NASCAR fans, the women are right there. Don't get me wrong.
Right, they are. See, I like to appeal to the women too. I think that it's a perfect present for your husband or your boyfriend or whatever, because
Christmas present.
Heck yeah,
Dorset.
That's right. And our idea is that as we develop our product, when we sell you one, Gene, we'll keep your email address, and then when we come up with a new product, we send you an email. Hey, this might be good to add on to his already existing product for Father's Day or his birthday or whatever. And we're going to help you guys. Not you necessarily, but we're going to help the women folks out there too. We're going to help them too, But yeah, generally the male population, 35 to 45-year-old, that's generally our demographic, I guess.
But NASCAR and football, you're talking North Carolina right there.
Oh yeah, big time. Lots of those. I've done some numbers. It's like it's crazy numbers of people that follow, and it's a lot of the same people that do football and NASCAR. So we're looking at centering our marketing around those two arenas, and NASCAR starts up in February. My goal is to be at the races, and that's what I want to do, and then follow the racetrack, and all the way around till football season starts up again, and then get to all the football arenas and tailgate and have a good time. Because what we're about is having a good time. It just so happens that my business is fun. Can't help that. Been blessed that way, So.
Well, and that always happens when you obviously enjoy what you're doing and look at the future of that. Well, so Jeff, the actual voting process, there were the 4 judges or 5
So there
judges?
were 5 total votes. 4 of those were the actual judges, or the Sharks were on stage, and the 5th was the collective vote of the audience members. And so, it worked out great this first year. I was really kind of excited with how the voting process worked out. It was split 2-2 among the judges, and so the audience vote was the 5th and deciding vote. And Brian and Tailgate Buddy won by 3 audience votes out of the roughly 200 people who were there. So it was an absolute nail biter and a really exciting way to kick off our first short take event.
And he's going to create jobs too, isn't he? And that's important.
That's the idea. At the end of the day, what Springboard is ultimately after is trying to help create jobs, and so you really kind of do that through entrepreneurs like Brian. And so, it's our hope that if we can kind of help him and help him foster his business, that he'll hire someone and continue, and which is kind of an iterative kind of process.
What the setup, the bays and whatnot? I was reading the what your proposal was. Once you start setting those up, how many employees do you anticipate hiring?
Well, I'm hoping that we can hire about 40 in the next year. That's if we can get our production running and get the sales coming in and get a good market share and get out there like we need to. That's my goal. I'll move everything in-house, and and the sky's the limit from there. You're talking manufacturing, and what we're building. I know there's a market out there for it, and I know it's huge. So I'm thinking we can really blow this thing up, and I have no idea how big it'll get, but I want to be on the front of Forbes, you know.
Oh, well, shoot high, right, Jeff?
That's right.
Just be sure and put Shark Tank winner from Springboard.
That's right on.
That's
That's
right.
right.
Proud East North Carolina product.
Well, tell us how, now you're going to locate this facility in the Roanoke Valley. I think you have a
Yes,
big
ma'am.
commitment to that.
Yes, ma'am.
How can people go online? What's your email address?
Our email,
Or your
our
website.
website is tailgatebuddyllc.com.
Okay, and we will put that on the screen. too.
Yeah, we had it as a .org, but we've changed that, and it's in the process of that right now.
And the base kit is very reasonable. So we might want to mention that too, because I think this might be just that super Christmas gift for the hard to
Right.
buy for person.
Oh yeah, and we're gonna have our first production run back from the powder coater the end of this week. So the middle of next week they'll be ready to be shipped out, and and locally I'll probably just deliver them by hand, drive them that way, do a demo or whatever. But we'll cross that bridge as it comes to us.
Brian, congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Jeff, this is wonderful, isn't it? I mean, I
Yeah.
just, as a community, we need to feel real good about that our
Yeah.
efforts are supporting someone who's doing such great things as Brian. So, Brian, come back when you're on the front of Forbes and we'll interview you again.
I'm shooting for it, so thank you, and I'd love to be back.
Oh,
And
yeah.
thank everybody for helping us out, as long as there's been a lot of support. So.
Well, that's what it's about. This is a very giving, supportive community. So, Jeff, thanks to you too.
Yeah, sure.
And thank you. Well, see you next week.